The time has come. Scott Cronick right now on our stage, and we have friends and family of Scott right over here, and they're not speaking for some reason.
You read the headlines every day in the press of Atlantic City. Now, hear the voices behind the stories, along with the newsmakers that make it happen. Business, entertainment, food, sports, like you've never heard it before. Off the Press with Scott Cronick.
Heyo, it's Dan Barowski, Scott's producer. I'm taking over the show again with my boy Kipster next to me. My comfort blanket's with me again. What's up, Kip?
Hi, Dan. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. Nice to be back on the radio in the host chair, and Rachel behind the glass over there.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Our guest today asked if we put her in there because we're scared of her, and that's definitely the case. I'm way too intimidated by you to have you in the same room, so.
That makes sense.
Hey.
Yeah.
I feel safer with her in there.
Yeah, don't you?
Good.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I would be scared to have her in here. Hey, and this first hour, we're going to be talking my favorite subject of anything we can talk about, that being wrestling. And we're joined by Chad Minnis and, what's his name, Preacher Phineas James.
Preach.
Why did you stumble on my name so much?
I don't know. I'm used to calling you Preach now. We've known each other
As you should
too
be.
long, like.
No one calls me Phineas. Nobody even remembers that that's my name.
It's just Preach.
Yep, that's it.
Something that has deep roots in Atlantic City, but it's been missing for some time, is this wrestling. I'm not talking about amateur wrestling, such as what you see in high school or college. I'm talking Hulk Hogan-style professional wrestling. They're probably going to kill me for saying that, because you guys like Hulk?
That's copyright.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. The biggest event in all of professional wrestling, WWE's WrestleMania. It's the only time it's been held in back-to-back years was right here in Atlantic City on the Boardwalk in Boardwalk Hall back in 87 and 88. Independent promotions, or as it's been called in the wrestling world, indies, are instrumental in the overall success of professional wrestling organizations in the U.S., such as WWE and TNA, and in Japan, where wrestling is even more a phenomenon than here in the U.S. Indies are used as a breeding ground for future superstars, with many household names coming out of local organizations like the longtime Philadelphia staple ECW and its spirit successor CZW out of here in South Jersey. Is that cool to call it that? Spirit successor of ECW?
Sure, I absolutely believe that. Little fact, too, I was trained by ECW's Nunzio.
Really?
That's right.
And Preach over here is now the one of the head trainers for CZW, so it's real cool to have him in studio.
I am indeed. Thank you very much for having us.
And Chad Minnis across from me. He's been a long-time guest on the Mark Berman Show. Love you, Mark. I think he's listening today, actually. And been here on Off the Press before, too, so welcome back, Chad.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
You're here to talk about a new wrestling promotion that you're bringing to South Jersey area called Standalone Wrestling. We got an event coming up in February, an event coming up in August with some sporadic in between, correct?
We are working on some other shows now.
Take me back to where it all started for you. What's your love, Chad, for professional wrestling, man?
So for me, the first time I ever saw wrestling was I walked into my my dad's house, and WrestleMania was on. And at the time, it was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And it was that epic moment where Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant. And for me, for that, I was just hooked right after that.
What a time to walk into a ring.
That was awesome.
Crazy.
That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, right?
Totally random match.
And it's pretty cool. He's not here today, but it seems like you've carried on that father-son relationship with your son, going to a bunch of wrestling events all over the country, right?
We go everywhere, yeah. I was just at Thanksgiving weekend. We're at WrestleCade, and I travel anywhere, Florida, all over.
And you, I guess a couple years now, maybe even longer, you went from fan to working in the wrestling field. Why'd you do that?
So, I just thought to take my business background into something I loved, and, that's when I started. First, I started doing what's called vendoring, when you bring in guests at different shows and conventions and things like that. And then when I started working with WrestlePro, I got more involved in the behind-the-scenes stuff, whether it was booking and, storytelling and, critiquing trainings and all that kind of stuff. And it just grew from there.
Are you full-time now, just doing wrestling stuff?
No, I own a new construction cleaning company, which is my main company.
Okay.
And this is like, I wouldn't call it a side project, but, an equal business.
Has there been any point that's just like taken over your life, wrestling?
It's,
right now it is.
Neither of us have extra time. It's between our real jobs and wrestling. It's 24/7.
Absolutely.
And just this past year, you brought an event to Atlantic City, and you're now going to be doing that more often. Why'd you decide to go with your own promotion?
So, yeah, it was just a time that you feel like you want to do something on your own and, have your own vision. And when I did the Atlantic City show, which was Roll the Dice with Alberto Del Rio and Pentagon, I developed a relationship with Preacher when I was at SWF. And based on that relationship, we did basically did the whole card and the show together.
Roll the Dice, right?
Uh-huh. And everything was great. The chemistry between me and him were great. And then we started talking slowly, and we decided to, do our own thing together.
Okay, and Breach,
Yes, sir.
doing your own kind of promotion. I know you've been doing this for, I think you said 19 years.
No, 17 years. I started in 2000, and I have worked for companies all across the country, and I have actually been a wrestler and a backstage hand, either promoter or booker, or I've done every job in wrestling you could think of, and I've worked for lots of great companies. I used to be a booker for the NWA. I currently work with CZW as one of their head trainers and as a production manager. So I try to keep my hand in it. I only retired from wrestling a little less than a year ago, so I'm trying to keep busy, trying to keep my hand in it.
Do you have any of the pull to bring you back into the ring? I mean, it's got to be addicting, right?
It absolutely is. I retired because I had to, not because I wanted to.
You want to specify why or no?
Yeah, sure. I can talk about it. So at a CZW event, when I was really starting to do well and make my name for myself, I took a really bad DVD on the apron in front of a big crowd, and I broke my neck in 3 places. So I did come back from that. I did wrestle for about 8 or 9 months when I came back, but I really just did it just to prove to myself that I could do it. And then at that point, it got to the point where I had to say, is it really worth me risking my life at this point?
Well, I mean, that's the injury that's ended a lot of wrestling careers, right? I mean, Edge had the same kind of neck
Edge
injury. Edge
actually had the exact same surgery as I did, except for I had a displacement of an additional disc. I had actually reached out to Edge when I got hurt to talk to him, but unfortunately he was filming at the time, so so I didn't actually, because I was very nervous about getting back in the ring, and I never had nerves before getting in the ring, never, not even when I started. But coming back after that, it took a full year before I can even do a push-up.
Wow.
And I was in the best shape of my life before that, so it was a little scary.
In football right now, which we'll be talking about in the second hour, the biggest issue is CTE and concussions, and you don't see many happen in wrestling. Is that correct? Or it's just not known as
it's
well.
just not. Unfortunately, it is it is very much like football used to be. They are absolutely happening. They're just not talked about as much.
Okay.
I can tell you, for example, for me particular, I've had 7 major concussions that I'm aware of.
Oh, wow.
So it is a very frequent thing. I think, the WWE was pretty smart a few years ago when they outlawed chair shots to the head and stuff like that, to at least minimize what's happening. But it's a lot of physical contact. It's a lot of shots. It's a lot of you're putting your life into somebody else's hands. It's that simple. And things go wrong all the time. Fans love to say, "Oh, well, it's lack of training." Well, you got Bret Hart's little brother Owen broke Steve Austin's neck.
Yeah,
and
he's one of the best wrestlers
those are 2 of the best wrestlers in the world, right there. So no matter what you believe, it absolutely can go wrong at any moment. Absolutely any moment.
And is this your first time stepping into the role of an owner of a promotion?
Yeah, no, not really. I had taken over a company called Body Slam Wrestling Organization from one of my original trainers, Richie Rotten. But it was never really my vision. It was his vision that I was continuing. And he had a great vision. I loved it. But I just wanted to do my own thing. So when I had met Chad, we hit it off. Sometimes you just click with somebody, and we definitely clicked. We definitely have different ideas about wrestling, but I think we complement each other in I'm good at the things that he's not, and he's good at the things that I'm not. And we are both incredibly hard workers. We both work our butts off. We're both 24/7, 7 days a week. So, I really look forward to what this company's going to do. I'm really excited to show people our vision, and hopefully remind people how fun wrestling's supposed to be.
Now, is it an act of love, or is it somewhat of a lucrative business once you get down the line? Do you actually make money on shows, or is it kind of break even and that's your goal?
It depends on the show, and it depends on how hard you work. I think for us, it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. I feel firmly that I can speak for Chad in this particular instance, even though he's standing right next to me, in that I think our love comes first. If we make money, great. And yes, we would like to make some money doing it. But I think our love of professional wrestling is what's really pushing us to do it.
Any trials and tribulations you guys have seen so far owning the business?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just smooth so far. So smooth.
We're trying to stay far away from drama, because there's a lot of drama in wrestling, just like any other business. And my whole philosophy has always been, if you come in with drama, you don't work for us anymore. That's it. There ain't no second chances. I don't want no drama in my locker room. I don't want no drama behind the scenes. Running a wrestling show is a really long day, and it's really stressful. And anything you can do to take away from that stress is a good thing. So you surround yourself with good people, with hard workers, with good attitudes, and you're going to have a fun show, and you're going to have success.
In the February show, you have a former WWE superstar and someone in NXT right now. And coming up in August, you're actually going to have Goldberg and Sonny at one of your events. And that's very exciting.
Yeah.
What goes into booking these kind of guys? Is it a long process?
Sometimes it's pretty quick though, right?
Yeah.
And we always talk about it. We always go, is it a good idea to get this person? What about this guy? What about this girl? You think she'd be good? And there's always a lot of talk on the scene about people's attitudes and that kind of thing. But I've always firmly believed that you have to judge for yourself a person's attitude. You can't tell me what a person's like, because you might not like that person, and I might think they're awesome. You know what I'm saying? So there is a decent amount of talk and negotiation going into it, and I think the dichotomy between Chad and I is Chad is very spontaneous, and I am so not. I am leery of everything and don't trust anybody. So he's taking me out of that a little, and I think I'm pushing my philosophy on him a little, So it's been a win-win all around so far.
We're here with Preacher Phineas James and Chad Minnis. They're the new owners. Well, not new. You guys have been working on this a while, but of Standalone Wrestling. They have a liftoff event coming up at the Atlantic Cape Community College, Building E. Correct?
Correct.
Yep.
That's a Maze Landing.
Doors open 6 p.m.
That's coming up soon.
Yeah, Saturday, February 24th. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Ticket sales are real good.
That's great.
And the show itself is looking phenomenal.
Who do you got coming in?
Every match was handpicked. We didn't use anybody that we didn't feel really, really strongly about. The only thing that changed things up for us a little bit is in October, I had talked to the owner of CZW, DJ Hyde, and I asked him if we could do a tryout and combine it with CZW. We would do like a tryout for new talent, because he was looking for new talent, we were looking for new talent, and we could not believe how incredibly successful that was. We had 40 guys there from all over the country, and some of the guys impressed us so much, we literally booked them on the spot.
That's great.
So it was a really cool opportunity for some young talent to get a chance to be on the show. But we've also, got a lot of guys that have been around for a really, really long time. Somebody that I believe is the best indie talent on the scene right now, and that's Joe Gacy. We're going to have him wrestling the former, also known as, let's go with that, Danny Burch on NXT. His name is Martin Stone. And when I tell you that match is going to be a barn burner, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a hell of a match.
Yeah, and then we have Tennille Dashwood, who was formerly Emma on WWE. She is going to be wrestling Brittany Blake, who is an indie standout. I
read online she's almost the John Cena of CZW, the pushed face. Is that correct, or is she more of a heel? Face and heel for our listeners. Face is the good guy, heel is the bad guy. Some out there might not know that.
It really depends on where you're working, really. I can tell you that I had a little bit to do with Brittany's upbringing. I'm one of her trainers. One of the common threads and one of the things that I really wanted to do, and I spoke to Chad at length for this because clearly I speak a lot. One of the things I really wanted to do was use talent that, in my opinion, was underutilized.
Okay.
And even Tennille, perfect example. Somebody who, in my opinion, was a star. And
one of the best wrestlers when she was
absolutely, and in my opinion, not necessarily used right. And in a big company like that, that's going to happen. You're going to have some people that are going to fall through the cracks. But that's a common theme throughout our entire show. Every person on our show, I'm going to show you, is a superstar, and they are going to show you that they're superstars because they're all underutilized and they're all itching to show everybody what they have. So I promise you one thing. If you come to this show, there's not a single match that you're going to be like, not one, the whole card.
For listeners that aren't really familiar with professional wrestling and they're not huge marks like a lot of us are, do you still suggest that they come to this show?
Well, here's the thing. As a dad, I can tell you right now, there ain't nothing to do. there ain't nothing to do all the time. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of going to the movies. You go to the movies and you spend $1 bazillion, and sometimes you get a movie that's a dud, and you're like, wow, that was $60 well spent.
If only 60, right?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, you do not need to be a wrestling fan to come to this show. Here's the thing: if you got kids, bring them to the show. Introduce them to wrestling, even if they don't like to watch it. You got little kids that are going to get to yell and scream and be involved.
It's fun.
It's so much fun to be there. It's so much different being there than watching it on TV. So even if you're not a fan, I believe that walking out of that building, you will at least start to become one.
I'll actually vouch for that. I got a nephew out in Tennessee, and he actually prefers going to the indie shows out there more than watching WWE. And he's been to WWE events, and he loves the indie shows. There's such a camaraderie. There's such a closeness between the fans and the wrestlers. Wrestlers interact with you the entire time. They'll come out and meet you afterwards. I highly suggest you to take your kids out there. It's a damn good time. Hey, we got a Willie No Malice. Hey, Willie, what's up, man?
You know what? I'm 73. I'm ready to wrestle. You know why? Because of the spirit. Billy, the superstar. You know what I mean? And Von Braun, Birmingham. I'm from Selma, Alabama. These men are the greatest men on the planet. And I'll tell you something. Like this gentleman just said, I missed his name. He said he wanted no drama. I was in 1973 in the Almanac, Atlanta, Georgia. This was the night Hank Aaron hit the home run. And there at that time, Andre the Giant would wrestle any two men. Bill White in Atlanta was the Georgia champ. He said he would wrestle Andre the Giant one man on one. He had brass knuckles. I was up front. Brother-in-law got a front seat. If Andre the Giant had come back out there, I got the tape VCR. That was a ride. It wouldn't have ended. I tell to you gentlemen, you can take things that the public wouldn't. And now I understand why you are saying you don't want drama. If you're mistreated by a wrestler or something, you say, we'll deal with it next time. But the fans ready to go to war at that time. You guys do a superb job when people double up on you. There are no men like you. But I tell you what, I'm 73 veteran. I'm ready to wrestle. No matter, Willie Norway, Lake City.
Hey, Willie, thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. And I saw you out there at the SWF event this past year. Yeah, I guess he's gone, but
he just got started.
He was out rolled. I know, right? Once he gets going, I don't even want to interrupt. I love him.
That's pretty good.
That was
Willie, thanks for calling.
He went to roll the dice. He said it was a great event, and I'm happy to see you guys doing more. Hey, what we're going to do here is we actually got a pair of tickets for the upcoming Liftoff event available.
Nice.
It's Saturday, February 24th. Doors open 6 p.m. at Atlantic Cape Community College. We're going to play a song on the way out. If you know the song, give a call to Rachel. Give her your information, and you can have 2 tickets to the show. So, Rachel, you want to fire up that song? Rachel, I'm going to talk real quick. If you know the wrestler's theme song, I'm sorry, I didn't clarify there. You got to know the wrestler who comes out to this music. He's a current wrestler, a former indie wrestler. We're talking about indie wrestling today, and used to be known as El Generico. That's a clue for you. We'll be right back.
Off the Press with Scott Cronick is presented by Shore Physicians Group, the Exchange Restaurant Complex in Linwood, Borgata Casino Hotel and Spa, Ocean First Bank, Atlantic Auto Group, Resorts Casino Hotel, Stockton University, Tropicana Casino and Resort, OC Water Park, and Manco & Manco, the first and last name in pizza.
You have come to know Quick Bites as the go-to place for a quick but fresh meal. Juicy all Angus beef burgers made to order and creamy rich milkshakes along with a full fresh off the grill breakfast menu at Ruby's Dinette. Original Soup Man Delicatessen has you covered for classic deli favorites like pastrami and corned beef alongside hot original Soup Man soups that even had Seinfeld saying soup for me. Famous Familia prepares fresh dough daily for their Gotham style pizza and uses the freshest ingredients in made to order pastas. Now you deserve to be part of our Locals Club. Check out Quick Bites Club and receive a birthday gift and specials. You even receive a welcome gift just for joining. Quick Bites Food Court steps off the boardwalk in the middle of the action on the casino floor inside Resorts Casino Hotel. Go to quickbitesclub.com.
Still no deal on DACA after suggestions that earlier today senators had come up with a way to save that program, protecting undocumented immigrants brought here as kids. Republicans say they have an outline but still need support.
Right now, this is the only bipartisan agreement out there, and we're just shopping it to more of our colleagues.
Republican Senator from Arizona Jeff Flake. The new tax law President Trump signed last month means 90% of Americans will soon see an increase in their take-home pay, according to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin.
This new guidance will mean that workers and their families will receive larger paychecks starting in February.
Dozens of Sam's Club stores are closing. Parent company Walmart shut down 63 Sam's Club locations across the country today without notice. It's not clear how many people are losing their jobs. Also today, Walmart said because of that new tax law, new employees will have a higher minimum wage, $11 an hour. In Southern California, officials say 7 people are still listed as missing after Tuesday's mudslides. Scott Goldberg, ABC News.
W223CO Atlantic City.
Shore Physicians Group invites you to its first Be Well Connected community education event on Wednesday, January 17th. This year-long series of free events starts off with the topic of dementia, its diagnosis, management, and the future, with presentations by Shore Physicians Group neurologist Dr. David Rolchin. This event will be held at the Ocean City Masonic Lodge, number 171 in Ocean City from 10 a.m. until noon. To RSVP, call Shore Physicians Group at 653-3500, extension 3435.
Shore Medical Center's commitment to quality and safety is second to none. Shore is proud to once again receive an A grade for quality and safety from the Leapfrog Group. This is the 5th consecutive rating period in which Shore received this prestigious A rating. Congratulations to Shore's clinical and support staff who work diligently every day to provide safe and quality care for our community. For more information, visit shoremedicalcenter.org.
The action is just beginning to heat up at the 2018 Borgata Winter Poker Open, January 16th through February 2nd. The East Coast Premier Poker Tournament includes over 40 heart-pounding events leading up to the WPT Borgata Winter Poker Open Championship, featuring a $3 million guaranteed prize pool. Borgata Winter Poker Open, January 16th through February 2nd. For complete tournament details, visit theborgata.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Voice is making its Atlantic City debut in a new video slot game. Fans of the hit NBC singing competition The Voice can now feel like part of the show at Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa. The new video slot game features popular celebrity coaches and exciting lighting and sound. You can also step into the coach's shoes and have your picture taken in the iconic red chair. The Voice video slot machines, only at Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa. The show that never ends. Must be 21 or older. For complete details, visit theborgata.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The original Tony's Baltimore Grill in Atlantic City brings their one and only satellite location to the Exchange Linwood using the same ingredients and preparation methods that have made Tony's Baltimore Grill world famous. If you can't travel to AC, then come to Tony's at the Exchange Linwood for that same great taste and experience. Choose from over 20 specialty pies, our famous fried shrimp, or our chicken wings and tenders. Don't miss any of our many daily specials, including 50-cent wings for all NFL games, or our fall delivery special, 20% discount on all orders over $25. You can also play Pizza Bingo at Tony's. Get a sticker for every pizza purchased. Fill in all 10 boxes on your Tony's pizza card and receive a free pizza. Tony's is also proud to offer a 15% discount to all first responders in uniform, as well as all U.S. veterans. Open daily from 11 a.m. Call 609-904-2693 for pickup or delivery.
There's always more fun at Tropicana Atlantic City. Shop at our 25 retailers, dine at our 24 restaurants, and party at our 18 bars and lounges. Whether you want to get in on the action of our newly renovated casino, have a relaxing getaway, or entertain the entire family, there is something for everyone at Tropicana. Plus, get more offers, rewards, and choices with Trop Advantage Club, voted Best Players Club by Casino Player Magazine. For more info, visit Tropicana.net. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bacharach Rehabilitation offers script-free physical therapy. Do not delay treatment. Call Bacharach for your PT evaluation at 609-652-7000. Learn more at bacharach.org.
For complete and up-to-date total traffic in South Jersey, listen weekends to News Talk 1400 WOND.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
And we're back on Off the Press with Scott Cronick. I'm producer Dan Barowski, filling in with Kipster and Rachel, like I usually do, because I love them both. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
And
Hi, Rachel.
I'm here with Preacher Phineas James and my boy Chad Minnis, who's been around WND for a while now. Welcome back, guys.
What's up?
What we're doing is, during the break, if you can guess whose theme is playing behind us, you get a pair of tickets to the upcoming standalone wrestling liftoff event, which these guys are bringing to us. It's going to be February 24th, 2018. Doors open 6 p.m., bell time 7 p.m. at Atlantic Cape Community College, Building E. So, Rachel, why don't you blast that music a little bit? If you know whose theme song this is, give us a call. She'll take your information, and you can win some of a pair of those tickets.
I'm not sure I would have got this.
Really?
This?
You should be able to get this right if you're a wrestler fan.
Yeah.
This one, definitely.
You know it, right?
Oh, do you not know it?
I don't think I know it.
Oh, my, what is wrong with you? Probably one of the most famous wrestling songs of all time, right?
Yeah, I think you're going to need a CAT scan.
I think I might need a CAT scan.
All right, well, since Kip doesn't know it, you might not know it, but if we don't get any callers within the next few minutes, we'll open it up for if you're interested in the event, you can go. So if you know the song, though, first, you get first dibs. Give us a call, and 609-927-1100, and you get yourself a pair of tickets to that awesome event coming up.
Nice.
Wait.
Yo. And if you don't win tickets, you can easily go to standalonewrestling.com and buy them.
Hey, listen, how much are those tickets?
You can get a general admission ticket for $20. We also have packages where you can save money if you have several people coming with you. Chad, why don't you explain those packages?
All right, so we have first and second row for $25. All general admission tickets are only $20. We have a family 4-pack, and then we have a front row VIP for $30, which also includes one free drink, one free snack, and an extra item in a gimmick called swag bags that we're giving to all fans of the shows.
I noticed one of your promotional materials said soon-to-be famous swag bags. You want to give any clues as to why they might be famous?
Yeah, because it's just going to include, each show is going to include random items. Like somebody might walk in and they're going to get their bag when they check in for their tickets. You could have a Ric Flair signed autograph figure in your bag.
Wow,
you could have,
nice.
You could have just a little stress ball from Standalone Wrestling. You could have a poster. Totally random items every show for different people.
Chad's a long time fan, and man, your house. Do you have like a wrestling room in your house?
My son's room is a wrestling room.
Is
probably 2,000 wrestling figures.
Wow.
8 wrestling rings and tons of autographs. He has more autographs than I had my whole life, and photos and everything.
You're gonna go broke buying all those wrestling figures.
Very true.
He'll make the money back.
Broke.
He'll make the money back when his son becomes a superstar.
Right.
Little unpaid promotion here, but whenever my nephew comes down, you ever go to the Shore Mall in Ocean City? They got a little stand there that has a bunch of the old wrestling figures, and he loves digging through that and trying to find what he wants. You ever go there?
I have not.
I have, if you don't mind, I'm gonna give a little plug to a friend of mine who has a very similar store, Bulldozers Collectibles. My friend Matt Tremont, a very popular indie wrestler, deathmatch guy, works for CZW. He has a little store. Do you remember the name of the mall that he's in?
Berlin Flea Market.
In the Berlin Flea Market. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can go right there.
I'm in the market for a new Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Yeah,
I've lost 2 of them so far.
I thought that was a sound effect.
That's pretty good, right? I was going to snap this as a Slim Jim.
Well, we're on merch. Back in early 2000, there was this game called Backyard Wrestling, and the organization we keep coming up with, CZW, was featured in it, and CZW was kind of known for I don't know if they're known for them because they did have other matches too, but they were known for really violent death matches. And you a fan of those, man?
I am not. I've seen some good ones, but for the most part, I'm not a big fan of that style of wrestling. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just not my particular cup of tea. I've seen some great matches, death match style, because I clearly I work for CZW. So, but I can tell you that the CZW's current product is a lot different than the original product. While there's still that element, there's also, quite frankly, some of the best wrestlers in the world working for them. Just like there's some of the best wrestlers in the world working for Standalone Wrestling.
Yeah, coming up on Standalone, you have a bunch of CZW talent participating. Are they all guys you trained? I know you were talking about the...
No, okay. not at all. Yes, there are some people on the show that I had a hand in training. But like I said, no one got on the show unless we both fully believed in those people. So it wasn't a favoritism thing. As a matter of fact, there's plenty of wrestlers that are super mad at me that I'm not using them on our show. But, unfortunately, there's only so many people we can put on a show, and we literally wanted to give everybody the best show that we could possibly give them. I want people walking away from Standalone's Liftoff show going, holy poop, I cannot wait until that next show.
One of the most exciting matches, in my opinion, we didn't even touch on it, is the wrestling match between Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, who he's been kind of lauded as the best technical wrestler, whether it's indies or professional, since Chris Benoit, since Eddie Guerrero. And he's facing off against Brandon Kirk of CZW. What do you guys have to say about that match?
Okay, so I'm excited for a lot of matches on our card, obviously, because it's our card. Mm-hmm. I did talk to Brandon Kirk last night, and I was telling him, being that I've been a promoter for over a decade now, one of the most exciting kind of matches to me is when you have 2 completely different styles clashing.
What's Brandon Kirk's style?
Brandon Kirk's style is a very sporadic, super indie, what I would call a super indie style. Okay. Whereas Tracy Williams is a mat wrestler. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now you get these 2 elements together. I think honestly, it's going to be magic. I made the decision to give Brandon Kirk the opportunity to have this singles match because originally he was going to be in the 4-way that we had. But when I had spoke to Tracy Williams and got him excited about being on the show, I wanted that match to be insane. So honestly, I think this is going to be an absolute insane match. It's going to show you something that you have not seen.
It's going to be great. And another name is Martin Stone. I mean, Martin Stone from NXT. If you watch NXT, he just recently had that great match against Sonny Lorcan. It was just two British brawlers going at it. And a lot of times, not necessarily...
Wait. Oni's not British.
He's not.
He is not.
Oh,
he's from Boston.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that. Now, when you see these kind of matches, well, not indie wrestling as much, but in WWE, it seems like the punches aren't landing. They're kind of soft punches. But when you see somebody like Martin, his punches just look vicious, man.
Yeah. You know, there's an old story in wrestling about Terry Funk, because everybody used to say that Terry Funk had the nastiest punch in wrestling. And I remember a story of somebody asking him, Terry, what is the secret of how nasty your punch is? Terry basically said, well, I punch you as hard as I can.
Well, that's authentic.
And a lot of people have found that out firsthand. So, it's crazy. I really feel like there's a misconception as to the contact that is made in wrestling. I can tell you, I'm not going to name any names or anything like that. I don't want to anger anybody. But I've had a couple of guys that I've trained that came from the NFL, and I've had more than one guy within a single day just go, "You guys are crazy. I'm not doing this." It's not easy. It is absolutely brutal on your body. It definitely takes its toll. I'm not an old man by any means, but I can tell you I don't walk right and I don't sleep good. But I'm not saying I regret it in any way. I think professional wrestling is the greatest thing in the world, and I loved every minute.
I don't think you'll find many professional wrestlers that do regret it.
You'd be surprised. You would. There are a handful.
There are a lot of sellouts in the business. That just do it for the money and not for the love.
Well, I feel like there are some instances of guys where they just don't know anything else, and even though they probably should leave the business, they stick around for whatever money they can get out of it. But that's just a person being a person. You got to make money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also on the card is Tenille, and she had a falling out with WWE. It was not necessarily a falling out. She was more just let go after not being promoted the way she should have been. She was a great wrestler. She had a great storyline behind her. They tried doing some Instagram model angle with her that just flopped. It was Emelina, I think it was called, or something like that.
Right.
And Tenille, what do you guys think about what happened with? Can you say anything about that?
I don't see. I ain't got a muzzle on, and I don't work for that particular company, so I feel like I can say whatever I want. My number's on the flyer. Feel free to call me if you got a problem. Listen. I'm actually going to take both sides on this, and I'm not trying to be politically correct or anything like this. I just think it's true. With a big company like that, okay, there is going to be some mistakes, and there's going to be some successes. It's always going to be that way. There's always going to be an ebb and flow. I know wrestling fans in particular get really, really mad when they're like, oh, well, my favorite wrestler isn't getting the push that he's supposed to get. But listen, you don't know what's going on there. You don't know if backstage that person's a tool. You know what I'm saying? You don't know any of that stuff that's going on. You don't know if that person's work ethic is terrible. You don't know if they don't know how to do interviews. You don't know any of that. So don't judge. Don't be so quick to judge. Just try to enjoy the product for what it is, and hope that the people that you like get promoted. That's really it. I don't know what the instance of Tenille's being released was. But I can tell you, I believe that she is an outstanding talent, and from the dealings, the very small dealings that we've had with her, and from everybody that I've met that knows her, says she's an absolutely lovely person. So I'm really, really looking forward to working with her. I really am. I think it's going to be outstanding.
This isn't you guys saying this. This is completely coming from me. But the dirt sheets say that she had a problem with the writers, and biggest problem I have with WWE is it seems the writers have too big of an ego. They want to push their own kind of programs, and I don't know, man. I really think she had a lot of promise, and to see her like go 1 week after having a pay-per-view. Well, I wasn't 1 week, but a couple weeks after having a pay-per-view match with one of the best divas in the WWE, it was hard to see. Real quick before, well, let me tell you again.
It's nice to see you passionate, Dan.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
It
way
really
too
is.
passionate.
It's nice to see
No,
that.
there's no such thing as way too passionate. No such thing.
Standalone Wrestling's Liftoff is going to be coming to Atlantic Cape Community College Saturday, February 24th. Doors open 6 p.m., bell time 7 p.m. You can get tickets at standalonewrestling.com or by calling 973-902-2345. Again, that's 973-902-2345. That's what we're talking about right now. Some great wrestlers going to be there, including Tennille Dashwood and Martin Stone, as we mentioned earlier. We got a good friend of both mine and Chad's on the line. Mark Berman, what's up, man?
Well, there's some things that I just love, okay? My favorite things in the world are a good indie wrestling card and the best chicken wings on the planet. Now,
Oh, yeah.
Can you help me? I only want them in Atlantic City. I don't like leaving. I live here. Can you help me?
Yeah.
What are you doing, guys?
We got you. We got you, Mark. Don't you worry about a thing. We're going to bring both of those things to you.
I am very excited about what you're doing, Chad. I love that you're hosting today, Dan, and I know that Kip is in the studio. But listen, I love what you're doing. I love the intensity that you have and that you believe in Atlantic City to bring a card later this summer to the Claridge.
Yeah, I was actually going to get into that, Mark. Thanks for bringing it up. The card later on this summer, it's going to be at the Claridge Boardwalk Beatdown. Like I said earlier in the show, big names like Goldberg. I mean, I grew up and he was a hero to me. Honestly, I don't think he's that great of a wrestler, but he's a great, great, great personality.
I think he would disagree.
And also, Sonny, that's Tammy Sitch. She was huge back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And, guys, why don't you tell us a little bit about that event?
So also Brutus the Barber Beefcake has already been announced
really?
for that too.
Yep.
For that weekend, we're going to start off August 24th, and we're going to do our first event at the Tennessee Beer Hall.
Nice.
And that's actually going to be a dinner with the stars, where we're going to set up tables, and at each table you're actually going to have a wrestler who's going to eat dinner. We're going to have MLJ as our MC, who's our ring announcer. He's going to do like a Q&A and, moderate the whole thing. So it's going to be very interactive and fun, and great food and drinks from Tennessee at Beer Hall.
Wrestlers know how to talk, and they got good stories.
Great stories.
Mark, you going to be my date for that?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there. In fact, I'm standing outside the beer hall right now waiting.
Awesome.
You've been waiting there a while, but love the dedication,
I'm out
Mark.
there right now. It's not as chilly as it was 2 days ago. But I don't want to take up all your time, but I'm just really excited about everything that you're doing. And I don't know if you can get to WWE, but could you get Braun Strowman some skills?
No comment.
I will actually comment on that. Okay, so I am very good friends with Drew Gulak. And Drew had come to an event when they were in town to see me, and we had actually talked about Braun Strowman when he first started. Mm-hmm. And I would like to say that I did not like him at the time. I am a small guy and always have been, so as a wrestler, I have had to work my butt off to get every advantage that I've ever had, okay? Whereas I feel like a guy like Braun Strowman, you take one look at him and they're like, yep, you're signed. Mm-hmm. I was told by Mr. Gulak that Braun Strowman is a person who not only works his butt off, but in my personal opinion, his skills have improved incredibly over this last year. Incredibly.
I agree, but they're really pushing him a lot. Guys, I'm going to listen to the rest of the stuff you're talking about, Chad, and you guys, I'll see you real soon.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mark.
you,
Thanks, Mark.
Remember Mark Berman, listeners out there, he had a show on Saturdays, a great longtime host. And thanks, Mark. I really appreciate you joining us.
You guys are awesome. I'll see you soon.
See you soon, Mark.
Bye, Mark.
Before you go, I want to get a story from you, Preach. You got anything for us?
Sure. I got a crazy story. So, and this is a weird, dumb one. Quite a few years ago, I was working for Body Slam Wrestling Organization, one of the many companies I was working for at the time. And I did a match with a kid named Danny Danger, which was a hardcore match, but little did I know would turn out to be the bloodiest match that I've ever had in my entire career, which is weird. If you look up Danny Danger online, he's not a wrestler any longer. He's actually an excellent actor right now, but Danny's a smaller guy too, and he gave me a chair shot and in the top of my head, and then followed it up with another one, and it left me such a huge gash on my head, and we were wrestling for another good 15 minutes after I started bleeding, and I'll tell you, if you look at the video online, you'll see that at one point, I mean, it's literally pouring out of me like a faucet.
But Preacher, I mean, it's right there in the name, Danny Danger.
Yeah, you're right. But here's the funny part. I got in the back after the match was over. I grabbed a beer, and I sat down, and I was having a conversation with somebody, and I literally just went out. I passed out from blood loss.
Wow, how about that?
Wow. And I woke up with Balls Mahoney.
Oh, that'll happen.
Smacking the poop out of me, yelling at the top of his lungs, "Preach! Preach! Are you okay?" And I said, "What?" I said, "Stop hitting me. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And he said, "What are you drinking?" I looked down, I said, "I'm drinking a beer." He said, "What are you, stupid? Your blood sugar's low. Get him a soda or something." So from that point forward, we called him Dr. Balls Mahoney.
Balls Mahoney, a lot of wrestling fans out there remember him as just a star from ECW, and he's had a long career. Is he still going?
Unfortunately, John passed away a couple of years ago.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't realize that.
An absolutely lovely person, but he definitely had a lot of injuries, and I mean, unfortunately, it happens. It does happen.
Yeah. All right, well, one more time, Standalone Wrestling, thank you guys for being in studio today. It was great to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, listen, I'm curious. Used to Chad, Preach, who's the face and the heel in this combination here?
Oh, no, we're both faces.
You're both faces.
No, he's a heel.
No,
He's a
okay,
heel.
all right, I'll
He
go with
is.
that. Okay, Preach is the heel.
Why don't you guys tell us on the event one more time?
Okay, so I will say this. The one thing that I want people to understand about our August event is this is going to be an experience unlike any other. You are going to have an incredible time. We are going to have an area where you can do your own promo. We're going to teach you how to do some wrestling holds. You'll have Goldberg and another huge person to be announced at our February 24th show, which I promise you are going to come to this show and you are going to walk out a Standalone Wrestling fan for life. This show is going to be amazing from beginning to end. You're going to see stars on the indie scene. You're going to see former WWE stars. You're going to see current TNA stars. You're going to see current NXT stars and all the indie stars you want to see, and you're going to see kids that have not even made a name for themselves but are going to make a name for themselves that night on February 24th, so we can't wait to see you there.
Again, that's February 24th, Atlantic Cape Community College Building E. That's Standalone Wrestling presents Liftoff, their inaugural event, and guys, I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks so much.
If you guys want tickets, they're $25 for a general admission ticket, right?
25 front and second row, 20 GA.
Oh, wow.
StandaloneWrestling.com is where you can buy the tickets.
I would like to point out that is the lowest price for front row to meet Tennille that you're going to see.
I want the grab bag.
Yeah, right? That sounds awesome, too.
That's what I want.
All right, well, thanks a lot, guys, for joining us.